Terry, I'm Gigi. I'm a nurse here. We've met before.
Yeah, I remember.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
So I was taking a look in your chart and I noticed that you were recently diagnosed with COPD.
Yeah, I came in a couple weeks ago and then they had me come back and they just let me know that I have COPD. So.
Alright, well today, I was wondering if we could talk about maybe your cigarette use, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, is that related to the COPD kind of?
It's definitely a contributing factor. COPD is related with smoking, and it just impairs, gas exchange. So it's definitely something that I'd like to talk about with you if it's okay. So have you been experiencing any symptoms related to your COPD lately?
Yeah, I've noticed even more recently that I've been having some trouble breathing, and that when I will breathe, it'll be like I can't get as much air as I feel like I need to.
Okay.
And my doctor said they would describe that as shortness of breath or something like that.
Okay. Well, have you ever thought about maybe quitting smoking?
Well, I've been smoking for a really long time, like over 10 years, and I've tried a couple of times, but I was never really that successful, so I've kind of just given up on it.
And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say you're ready, on a readiness ruler, 0 being not ready to quit smoking and 10 being ready right now? Where would you say you are?
Probably a 0, because I don't really know how I would go about stopping.
Okay, well, why don't we first talk about some of the reasons that you do smoke? So, I know that you mentioned you've been smoking for a while, so why do you think that started?
Well, I always had really bad anxiety as a kid, and all the people that I grew up with, they all smoked, and they always said, oh, just have a cigarette, you'll feel better. So, and I noticed that helped. It seemed to calm my nerves a lot. And ever since then, it's just kind of something I do socially. Also, everyone that I hang out with pretty much smokes, so it's just something I kind of grew up with and I never grew out of.
Totally understandable. So why don't we talk about some of the reasons, some benefits to quitting smoking? So with COPD, smoking is it's extremely correlated. So, just thinking from a health standpoint, how do you think smoking will affect your overall health, especially with the shortness of breath?
Yeah, I feel like it'll probably make me be able to breathe easier. It might even help me do better with the COPD, I won't have to take as much medication maybe. And then I know that smoking has a lot of bad side effects, it can lead to all these other problems besides just COPD, cancers and stuff like that. So, and then it also does stuff like make my fingernails yellow and my teeth yellow, which is really gross, but if I smoked, I wouldn't have to or if I stopped smoking, I wouldn't have to deal with that, so that'd be a good thing.
Those are all great advantages of quitting smoking. But now I know that you have been smoking for so long, so I know that it may be hard for you, and you mentioned that you tried before and you weren't successful. So what do you think are the cons to stopping smoking, and maybe what are some of the things that stopped you before?
Just because I would just get really bad anxiety and I wouldn't know how to handle it, so I would just be like, well, I just have to have a cigarette, because if there wasn't anything else that I could find that would help me with my anxiety and my depression, smoking was always something that made it better. So whenever I would try, I would always just go back to cigarettes anyway. And everyone that I hang out with, all my friends smoke, so it's just hard to get away from it when it's right in front of your face all the time.
So are you afraid that if you quit smoking, maybe you'll start having problems with your anxiety again and the depression?
Yeah, I really don't want to go back to that, because I want that to be in the past in my life. So if I give up cigarettes, I'm worried that would just come right back, and I don't want that to happen at all.
And how do you think smoking's affected any of your relationships? Have they affected them in a positive way or in a negative way?
I don't really think it's affected them positively. I have a niece that I really like seeing, but my brother, her dad, doesn't like me being around when I'm smoking, because secondhand smoke and all of that. so I don't get to see her as much as I would like. And I guess if I quit, then I would probably be able to see her a lot more and like set a better example for her too, because I don't want her to smoke.
Definitely. All right. Well, it sounds like you really know the pros and the cons of smoking. You've kind of, now that we've talked about it, I was wondering if I could offer you a little bit of advice.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I was thinking that with your recent diagnosis of COPD, I think it would be in your best benefit to try and quit smoking. So I was thinking maybe we could talk about thinking of a plan and maybe some actions that would help you quit smoking.
Okay.
So have you said you've tried quitting before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what type of things do you think, kind of deterred you from accomplishing that goal? Like what set you back?
Just like not really, like I would be bored and I would just be like, well, I'll just have a cigarette, like that kind of stuff. I didn't really have any distractions from it. I was in college when I did it, so everyone that I was around at night, like if I would go out at night, they would always be smoking. And if I was stressed out, I would always use smoking as something to help me with that. So
Okay. Well, why don't we try and think of some steps that you can take now that will kind of maybe help you from, like when you get bored, just things that'll help you cope with that.
okay.
So, where do you live alone or?
No, I have roommates.
Oh, awesome. Do you think they would be supportive in your decision to stop smoking?
Yeah, they don't smoke, and one of them did smoke, but she doesn't anymore. So she would be a good mentor for me.
All right, well, having a support system is really important, when you're going through a big change like this. So it's really great that you have roommates that would be supportive of that. So maybe why don't we talk about when you're out in socializing? And I know that, if you see someone smoking, it can be kind of hard to, fight the urge. So some things that I have heard that people do is, maybe chewing gum or, carrying hard candies around just to satisfy like the oral fixation of smoking. And a lot of people find that helps. Do you think that's something that you'd be able to do?
Yeah, that'd be easy too. Just carry that around with me.
Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, how ready are you to make a change in your smoking? 0 being not ready and 10 being ready.
Probably a 4, just because now I have more options for how to do it. So probably 4. I'm more ready to do it, definitely.
Okay, that's really great because, at least you're really thinking about it, and I'm sure that you'll be able to, make these changes, and, it's all about just accomplishing short-term goals. So I was wondering if we could maybe set up another appointment and maybe set a goal for that appointment. So maybe 3 weeks from today, we can set a goal of where you want to be in this plan. So what do you think would be a realistic idea for you?
Well, I smoke like 2 packs a week now, so I would say maybe just cut it down to 1 pack a week by the time that I'm seeing you in 3 weeks. So
yeah, no, that sounds like a really great plan. And we're not asking, change can be really hard. So taking it day by day, and just maybe instead of, you're right, the 2 packs a day, 1 pack for the entire week would be a really great milestone, because this is going to be a lifetime change, and it's really going to benefit you in the long run. So we want you to be comfortable with the pace that we're going at. We don't want to, stress you out. So I think that doing it this way would be really beneficial.
yeah, I think I can do it.
All right.
Gonna try.